Hello, this is Joe with American Micro Fuel again. This tutorial is going to cover some advanced map changes you can make with the RideMaxx software, and also some in-depth things you can do throughout the software. One of the first things we can look at is we're going to show you how to add a row or column. Let's say you get done riding or you're on a dyno and you're noticing that in between 4,500 and 5,000 RPMs the bike's kind of coughing, hiccuping. You notice that maybe at about 4,700 RPMs you need to make some changes. We can actually right click down here, insert a new row. We're going to call that row 4750. Basically you can name it any number you want. Click yes, I would like to insert the new value. And here we are right here. We now have a new row called 4750. It's going to be zeros at first, but you can go in and make the necessary changes that you want. You can also do this for the RideMaxx load or the columns up here. You can add a column at whichever level you would like. To remove a row, just select the row, right click, remove current row. Yes, I'm sure that I want to remove it. And now we are back down to where we were at stock. Another thing you can do with the RideMaxx software is add another map. Let's say we want to add a map for the rear cylinder. I'm going to put my mouse up here, right click. I'm going to insert a new table. This table I'm going to entitle rear cylinder. It's going to be based off of RPMs, or excuse me, RideMaxx load and RPMs. It's going to affect all the modes, and the cylinders affected, I'm going to have it applied to the rear cylinder. Select OK. Let's say that rear cylinder is getting a little hot in the summer, at slower speeds. We're going to highlight everything here, and we're going to add some fuel. And now, anytime we're in the power, auto, or economy settings, that rear cylinder is going to run 5 points richer. It's going to look at these maps here and then add 5 points of fuel to them and apply them to the rear cylinder. If you made some mistakes, you don't want that map added, right click, delete current table. We're on the rear cylinder table, delete, and there we are back down to our three maps. Now go up, right click up here, we're going to go to map configuration, and here's some of the modes that we can some options we can show you for the modes. Power up mode right now is currently set to auto. You can set it to economy, power, or even the last setting you were at. Button action, you can switch it between toggle and sequential. Mode count 3, basically this is how many maps you want loaded into your RideMaxx. You can add up to 6 maps. Change color. If, for example, you want your economy not to be green, you want to change it to a, how about a yellow? That's a good color that shows up. And click OK. Now, instead of green showing up on your ride tuner, it'll change to a yellow. Cancel out of that one. Some other settings we can do is, let's say we're tuning, we want 2 separate maps for each cylinder. We want the front cylinder to have a map and the rear cylinder to have a map. In our power map, we're going to right click, we're going to do map configuration. Excuse me, not map configuration, we're going to go to table configuration. Title of this table, we're going to switch it, it's no longer going to be powered. We're going to call it power front. Not going to apply to both cylinders here. We're going to apply to the front cylinder. I'm going to click OK. The economy, we're going to go to map configuration. Oh, did it wrong again. Table configuration. Entitle this one Econ Front. Applies to both cylinders. It's going to apply to the front cylinder. We're going to click OK. Now, with the power front, we can right click. We're going to duplicate current table. We now have a new table. Right click on that. We're going to go to table configuration. Instead of new table, we're going to call it power rear. Applies to the front cylinder. Nope, we're going to have it applied to the rear cylinder. And we're going to click OK. Econ front. Right click on that. We're going to put table configuration. Nope. Duplicate current table. And we're going to widen this up a little bit so we can see where I'm at. Instead of new table, right click, table configuration. This one's now going to be called econ rear. Applies to the front cylinder. Nope. I'm going to have applied to the rear cylinder. Okay. So now, throughout our settings, we have a power front, an econ front. We have a power rear and an econ rear. We now, each cylinder is running off separate maps. This way, if you want, say, the power rear to run richer, you can highlight everything. Now that whole cylinder is going to run richer just in the power set. Or the econ can go here and do it that way too. And we can also, again, we'll delete all these maps, delete them out, delete them out. This one, table configuration, just going to call that econ. Apply this to both cylinders. Okay, power front is going to go back to just power. Applies to front cylinders. We're going to apply it to both cylinders. Okay, now we're back to normal where we were to begin with. Another thing you can do is add a fourth map. We're going to insert a new table. And we're going to call this a speed table. And the column type is going to be RideMaxx load, but instead of engine RPM, we're going to put it at speed. The modes affected, we're going to put all modes. Cylinders affected, we're going to apply to both cylinders. Click OK. So now we have speed values of 0, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. We're actually going to add a new row. Insert new row. This one we're going to put it at 30 because it's going to be 30 miles an hour. Now we're going to highlight everything from 30 and below. Add 5 points of fuel. And now what this map is going to do is at the speed of 30 miles an hour and below, there's going to be 5 points of fuel added to both the economy, auto, and power settings. So the bike is going to be running richer 30 miles an hour below. Anything above 30, it's going to be at zeros. Although it is 50 here, because it's going to be above 30, these still will be zero settings. So this way your bike's going to run cooler at slower speeds. We can remove this map, delete the current table. We're going to add a new one again. Insert new table. We're going to call this one gear. Column type again, we're going to do RideMaxx load. For the row type, instead of speed, we're going to put gear ratio. Modes affected, we're going to have them affect all modes. Cylinder affected applies to both cylinders. Click OK. Now, these are all gear ratios, but basically we're looking at neutral, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth gear if that applies to your bike. We'll say in neutral, first and second, we're going to add 5 points of fuel. Well, 6. How about 6 because I stopped there. Now the bike in neutral, first and second gear is going to run richer. It's going to run a lot cooler. Anything third and above, it's going to run normal in the power and economy settings. The gear settings on the power and economy, it's just going to add 6 points of fuel. And that's about it for some of the advanced tuning options with software. As always, we can go into our software help and information. Otherwise, you can call us directly if you have questions at 360-201-9315 or email us at tech@americanmicrofuel.com. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and safe riding.